Okay, good morning everyone. Just getting out of my road. It's absolutely throwing it down. Welcome to July in the UK. Get it into second gear, it's kind of revving a little bit here. So today I am off to do the Norfolk Ride Safe Rider scheme, which is going to be a 5-hour approximate, I'm assuming there's going to be some breaks, ride with a Norfolk police officer rider, and a couple of other people will be in my group. So really looking forward to this. It's going to be, I was hoping for better weather, but it's going to be a really good learning experience. I've already done a couple of hours Zoom classroom training on this. I thought it was a really good idea to give this a go fairly quickly after passing my test. So I only passed my test a month ago, and now I'm doing this. So it's a bit of further training, getting a good idea on trying to stay alive, really, if I'm honest. The roads are particularly dangerous for motorbike riders, as if you're watching this, you're probably a motorbike rider yourself, or going to be, so you're very aware of the dangers. And for me, it's just about learning how to keep myself safe, and some further training, and getting some ideas on what to do. Yeah, so like I say, I'm looking forward to it. Today's going to be, the video will be a lot of on-road riding. Hopefully I've got the camera set up okay. We'll see. This is my first time with my new onboard camera. It's the Sena Prism Tube that I'm using, so it's attached to the side of my helmet. I've had it set up, did that during the week. I haven't done any test rides, I haven't been able to do that. I'd intended to do that last night. Unfortunately, I was looking after a poorly child. So yeah, we'll test this, we'll see how it goes, we'll get this out. Hopefully it all goes alright. But this weather may well make the videos a little bit poorer quality than I wanted them to be. So you're just getting a little bit of a tour as I come down out of my housing estate in Dereham here in Norfolk, and I've got to head over to Wyndham to the police headquarters. But I also need to get some fuel first, because I've been told to turn up with a full tank of fuel. So I'm a little bit early, and we need to get some fuel and get going. I am really hoping that this weather changes, although looking at the weather apps, I think it's going to be rubbish all day. So we will see how it goes, and yeah, I'll touch base with you soon. Like I say, just heading through Dereham now, and be heading to Wyndham. Catch up with you all soon. Oh, what a nonsense. What an absolute nonsense. So, I am here in Wyndham now. You can see the bike over there in the pouring rain. I am soaked. I'm soaked through already. Look, these are my gloves. Look at the water coming off my gloves. We got caught in the most horrendous, torrential rainstorm. I've never ridden in anything like it. Never ridden anything like it. I've ridden in rain like this, where it's just constant like this. It's coming down, it's drizzly, it's wet, you're getting soaked. But on the A47, I have never ridden in anything like that. That was horrendous, and it has gone through my waterproofs. Everything. I'm soaked. I'm wet all the way through, which doesn't bode well for a very good day, does it? So I'm currently here just opposite, because I'm a little bit early. I intended to be early, for the purpose of I didn't really know how to get here. So I'm a little bit early. I'm about 20 minutes before I need to be where I need to be, which is actually just over the road, so that's fine. It's like out of here, straight over, kind of. So it's like 30 seconds away. But I'm standing in Lidl car park, under the shelter, rinsing my gloves out. Look at that. That's all coming out of my glove. I absolutely daren't even try and take it off. I'll never get it back on again. just try and rinse the water out of them, drain some of the water off of myself, try and dry out. The positive thing is it looks like, although I'm likely now to be wet for the whole day, it is easing up, and if we look over there, where it seems to all be coming from, the clouds seem to be getting a bit lighter, so who knows, maybe it will be a drier day and we've had the worst of it. I'll update you when I'm over there and meeting the team that are going out. Speak to you soon, guys. Here we go then. We're now going to do the demonstration ride following Andy, the police officer. I'm in second place to start with, so we will go. Here we go. Let's see what this is going to be all about today. Stopped raining, which is good. Very good that it has stopped raining, because it is bullshit. I am soaked. I'm assuming they've gone around this way. I've lost them already. There we're going. Here we go. Off to Thetford down the A11, Michael. Let's go. Yeah, we're good. We got everyone. Right. Need a bit of wind to dry us out. It's good. We're getting nice early signals from him. That's good. I'm a little distance back, there's a car between us, but we will rotate, which the idea of that is that everyone gets a chance at being right behind him, seeing how he's riding. So, good news is probably don't want to actually crash today, would be best. Right, so heading down the A11. Let's see how we get on. Right, need to get ahead of this lorry. That wasn't long. Oh, blimey, we're really not going very far at all, are we? So, not gonna lie, a little bit nervous being out with the police. Obviously, doing stupid things is highly likely to get you in a lot of trouble, but that's not what today's all about at all. It's all about learning some new kind of skills, some better roadcraft, a better understanding of position. Yeah, I'm not going through that gap. Right, we've done the swap. Right, I'm right behind him now, so we get to follow what he's doing. At some point we're going to have to overtake this digger, which is not what I'm looking forward to on these roads. They're a bit windy. I need to get out of 4th gear. Bend coming up. He's not going to do it, is he? Very full end. I think the benefit of having the police here is he might actually pull over. What do you reckon? Looks like we might be doing an overtake. Right. Is he? Is he? Let's wait until the junction's done. It's out of 2nd gear. Sounds like it's revving a lot. So what you're actually getting on this little moto vlog is my thoughts as I'm riding along. Right, so now we've got the problem that he's overtaken, which is fine, but there's absolutely no blinking way to see past this thing at the moment. Narrow roads, can't see anything. Okay, so a little bit of different roads now, heading into some country lanes and national speed limit. That's be good to see how he's handling this. He's got a big BMW bike there, got a lot of weight on it. Look at the road positioning. Okay, interesting, so just move over to the left, watch that, line of sight just disappear, we come round here, well, we stayed dry so far, and we're down to 30. There we go. We stayed dry so far. Actually starting to dry out a little bit. The wind is drying it a little bit. It's like a freezing cold tumble dry. So what are we thinking? Do we think he's got a pretty cool job? Riding motorbikes all day? Chasing people on them, no doubt. I don't know. Police has never really appealed to me. I have a friend in the police, been in the police since he was 19, we're now 39. He's approaching 40 rapidly. So he's had a 20-year career in there. Ah, that Norfolk countryside aroma. There we go, all the cows. I'll let you fill in the blanks of what it smells like at the moment. And another digger. Fantastic. My favourite. We've got to try and get past this somehow. He's not going too slow. No, that's good, he's turning off. He's turning off. And we're not. Down we go. Nope, there we go. One of my future videos is actually going to be a ride around and talk round the actual test route that I did in Norwich. I did the route twice. The second one was cut short a little bit because of the time of day, so it was a little bit shorter. But yes, that is exactly what I'll be doing. A ride around of the test route I did. It's a very popular route in Norwich currently because of the roadworks on the A47. Right, okay, we're pulling in somewhere. This looks like we're pulling into somewhere to have a catch up and a chat. Yeah, it's fine here.
Right, so, what do we make of that? Elke, you were behind me first. We had to get rid of that Mercedes because that was going to be a pain in the posterior otherwise, but we did that. So, at the very start of it, obviously we followed out, we joined the A11, and you probably noticed I didn't indicate, which was deliberate, because, as far as I'm concerned, you indicate to tell someone what you're doing. It should be obvious to everyone that you're coming up the slip road, you're joining the carriageway. When I do indicate is when I'm thinking, right, I'm going straight across the lane 2, as it would have been, or 3 if it's more, okay? Because that is something out of the ordinary. There's possibilities that you can do one or the other, whereas if you're coming up slip road, the only one thing you can do, other than go in the hedge, is join a carriageway. Okay. Similar thing for passing parked vehicles, normally in a small village or town or whatever. Don't indicate to go past parked vehicles. I'll go past it or go in the back of it. And very often in built-up areas, there's driveways, junctions, and someone might think you're going in there, and if they're sticking their nose out slightly further ahead, they'll suddenly come out in front of you. So don't indicate to go past parked vehicles, unless for okay. So that's why I didn't do that. Then we came up to the roundabout. Like I say, we had the Mercedes in between us, so normally I'd do something slightly different than what we did, but we came up to the roundabout. I mean, if that car had been indicating to go that way, I'd have actually circumnavigated the roundabout, let it in front of us, and we could have done everything we were going to do, but there you go. So we come off the roundabout, and ordinarily we drop down that little hill. There's a junction there on the left-hand side, and the road starts to bend to the right. Ordinarily, I've deliberately positioned towards the offside on approach to that, whereas obviously for a right-hand bend it should be near side. So position the offside, just to wait till our junction's clear. Then once I'm happy, get myself in. Okay, so otherwise you could get a nose of a car or a tractor or something, stick yourself out just as you're about to pass it. Carry on down the road. So it's a bit of flowing roads there. Some opportunity show that although we've got very slight right, left, right, if you can see through it all, there's no need to do the defined positioning. If you can see through it all, keep your position. And there is a point further on in the ride, quite late on actually, where, in point of fact, if you do come off position, you lose all the view you've had. There's actually benefits in staying in that one position, but staying on our own side of the road. Okay. Down there, and then there was another bend, where road bent right, large high hedge, entrance to something, gravelly type track, and I was positioning more towards the middle of our lane than the near side. I wasn't going to go so far to the offside because obviously I know the road, but you can see that if I do that, suddenly I'm tipping in and I'm over the other side of the road. So I've given myself that margin of error to make sure my head isn't on the wrong side of the road, but I don't commit too much because of that entrance there, which could have a tractor coming out of it. Carry on down there, and then there's another one, but the one further down, you can actually see early enough. You hold out for a little bit longer. Now I'm happy. Time to get in for the position on the right hand bend. We had a few cars coming towards us, and again I've sort of just sacrificed a bit of my preferred position just to make sure I wasn't too close to them coming past the other way. And then after that, I mean, that was essentially it for that part. Was used behind the Elke just to demonstrate positioning for the bends in an ideal world, but also when you've got something else to consider. So we're back to that, as you pointed out in the evening. Information is there all round, all the way through the process. Well, is there some reason why I can't do what ideally I would like to do? Yeah, at the moment there is. so I'm going to have to change that.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that all make sense to you being behind me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Then
I did notice that there weren't indications, but I knew that there would have been a reason behind it.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, obviously, I know. So,
Yeah.
I know. I wasn't like, why did you put this? I just knew, there's a reason.
Yeah. And I always like to say what that reason is, so there's no grey area behind it. So that's good. And then we got behind teleporter, or we had teleporter man. I normally do the swap over at that point anyway, just made it slightly awkward because we had other cars behind us, but we did the swap over, that was good. And the first time I moved out, I would have overtaken at that point. But because I was aware of you guys behind me and the chances of you all getting past again, slim non-existent, so I thought, well, I'll move back in. And then further up the road, I thought, actually, we might all get past. Depends on what develops in front of us. So that's why I went. Again, also I was conscious of the cars behind. They'd been sat behind us and they weren't ever going to be able to overtake as long as we were still behind it. But that was almost a demonstration. Move out, happy with it, then it's the light accelerator. So a little chance. It was very rare to get a demo over and overtake in, to be honest with you. So you saw move out, but I didn't actually start accelerating until I was happy that it was definitely clear in front of me. Boom, yeah, there we go. Then we did the turn, and again that's quite tight there, and I choose this route deliberately. In your case, Michael, more bends, more positioning to demonstrate. Then we enter the village of Hapton, go through the village, and we have the cyclists, which I didn't think they were actually going to duck back in. I thought they were going to come all the way past us, and they, arguably, the dad wasn't showing the daughter the best way of riding, but there you are. That's another world entirely. And we come out of the village, and one reason why I choose that is because that demonstrates that although you're into national speed limits, you can't accelerate. So just because it says it's a national doesn't mean to say, well, hey, off we go. There's reason for it, and that one, series of bends. And there's often gravel on those bends, and you can't commit to that sort of thing until you can see, not only when you're positioning, you're not just looking for where the road's going and where vehicles are coming, but if you haven't seen the road surface, as poor old guy possibly found out this morning, he ended up riding on some diesel and came off. So on that there's gravel. So wait until you can actually see the road surface and where you're going to be putting your bike is a good bit of surface to be on, or at least you can manage it. Lots of bends there. We had the white Jaguar E-Pace towards the side to have a bit of our lane as well. God bless them. But those people are out there, aren't they? So that's what we're talking about. You can't position yourself until you can be sure of what's coming the other way and where it is in relation to us. Through the farmyard, which is a cracker, and then we have a second teleporter. I think it stopped raining, but he's bringing us teleporters instead. Second one, we trogged along for a bit, but it still didn't really affect that much where I was positioning the bike, and it turned off. But along that stretch, a couple of right-hand bends where I was able to position. We had some drains, which would have affected the stability of the bike, but I was actually happy that I could get beyond those drains and then get round in the ideal position. If those drains had been tighter to the verge, then I'd have had to sacrifice that because, as we said on the evening, stability is more important than position. So that's why I did that. And then that little S-bend, we had cars coming towards us, which I'll be honest is unusual. We had cars coming towards us. That's all right. And again, that's a nice chance for me to demonstrate the fact that I adopting the ideal position for the first right before the left, and not getting sucked into a straight line in it too early, because I don't want to tip over. I've got a white line there. I don't want to be putting the head beyond the white line. That car's coming the other way. And then I think it's probably time the second car was around about the time you got to the bend, I would have thought, Michael.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So, and then go around the other side. But it just shows that you can, even though it's quite tight like that, and I had to commit fully to the near side. And if I'd have had the vision, I'd have straight lined it a bit, but I couldn't. Still managed to get in position for the next left-hander there. And then after that, swap over time again. But any questions from what you saw, Michael?
No, I think it was all.
All makes sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Love.
It's a lovely route because in a short space of time we've actually done quite a lot of little
We've done a lot of bends.
Yeah.
bends.
There's going to be quite a few
And
more.
it's not a con from if you ever want to get from the A11 over to A146, this is a beautiful road.
Yeah, even when I'm not doing this, I do the I live near Lowestoft myself. And so if I want to get the headquarters straight from home.
Lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're doing the A47, you can meet oh, accident, right, off.
Yeah,
Let's get off.
yeah. So then we came across the 140, and now it's Mary behind me, and again, much the same sort of thing, really. Demonstrating position for the bends. There wasn't a great deal to have to deal with, to be honest with you. The one thing that I'm always conscious of is obviously the dump, the environmental waste, whatever they call it these days.
And the other thing I always hate is that the skid, as soon as you see them skid lines, where's the gravel?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's on the side road.
Yeah, exactly.
You still see it.
Yeah, but there was a little bit of debris in the middle of our lane that had been obviously dragged on, but actually that our road hadn't been resurfaced, so that wasn't going to cause a major drama. It's something to be conscious of, really. But the dump wasn't active, and you can actually just see through the hedge. If something is about to come out, you can see through the hedge, and I was looking through there. Nothing happening. Good for us. Up ahead, we had two cars in front of us, and one started to indicate, nice and early, actually, it's unusual. Nice and early, the indication came long before any brakes were required. So I had to ease off a bit. Give them a moment, give them a sort out, so we didn't actually have to slow down that much.
No.
Because we just carried them in, and by the time we caught up to within stopping distance, they were off the road anyway. Carried on. Into Hemphill, again, not a great deal going on there. The S-bend, and there are drains on the S-bend, which I'll be honest I did hit today. And then we came out there, I think there was a couple of pedestrians with a dog. The dog was on the lead, happened with that. Car merging out. Missed the midlife crisis with his convertible, but there you go. He was again, he was looking directly at us, so I was happy he'd have seen us. But we weren't going that quick, 30 limit anyway, we were just a whisker under it. And then out into the Nationals, more of the same really. Until we got to the S-bend here. With that one little plane coming out of Woodson Village, but again, it was clearly going to be waiting. It's seen us, not a problem at all. And events, here we are. So, any questions on it? All perfectly obviously.
Yeah.
Splendid. Right.
I need to remind myself to go more to the left because we do this right on bend.
Yeah. Right.
As long as there's no gravel, isn't it?
Well,
You've got to
gravel
be positioned
drain.
over.
Yeah. And that's,
basically over.
that's the stability bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So safety first, then stability. Stability can be potholes, it can be drains, it can be gravel, and the other debris that's going to cause the bike to become unstable. But yeah. So we shall now carry on. Elka, it's going to be you in front of me now.
Okay.
We're going that way. We are still in a 40 limit. Few ground rules that I will lay out before we get going. Please stay within speed limit. Okay, and that means when you're in a village, do the speed limit. When you're approaching the village, signs have the speed sorted by the time you get to the sign. Likewise, when you're in the village and you're about to repeat the national signs, wait until you're passing them before you accelerate. If you don't, you will look in the mirror and I won't be close behind you anymore. I'll stuck to the speed limit and stuck with him. Alright. If that happens again, I might have to speak, but I've never had to go to that point really, to be honest with you. That's the one thing I say I won't be close behind. Please don't, hopefully it won't disturb you, but you might find me in the mirror closer than you would expect another rider to be. That's because I need to be able to see what you're doing with either your feet or your hands, so I will be buzzing around behind you, and for those behind me, I won't necessarily be in the ideal position now, because I'm trying to watch the rider in front of me. Or I'm trying to watch past the rider in front of me, because I want to see what's coming up that they might have to deal with, so deal with that side of it.
I'm still behind you, aren't I?
No, you're now in front.
Okay.
You are lead bunny.
Okay.
Oh, bless you. So yeah, from this point onwards, it's going to be one of you alright, and with the other two tailors the liners there. Now, how do we know where we're going? Simple really. I expect people to use their mirrors, at least once or twice. If we're approaching a junction where I'm going to be turning, or we're going to be turning, I will be indicating. If I think you're going to miss, I will hit my horn, and it's a very difficult sort of fog on that thing, you can't miss it. If you still miss, as I said on the evening, we will stop. You'll notice I'm not in the mirror anymore, sit around, come back, join us, and away we go. If the bike's behind, please don't ride beyond your comfort level. And if we are turning, as I said on the evening, we will wait. So for whoever's behind me, in this scenario it's going to be Michael directly behind me and Mary. Yeah. Michael, you should see the pink helmet. If you can't, and we've done a turn, just sit on the junction, wait till Mary's indicating. And so whoever it is, wait till you see the indication, not just see the bike, because they might not have seen you. Okay. And then once you're happy with that, off we go. And we should be fine and dandy. If you're in front of me, straight on at either a crossroads or roundabout, my arm will be up like that, and I won't be indicating. Okay. Please could you either raise your hand or nod your helmet, because after a while that starts to wake. So
You're doing that for straight over?
Straight over, yeah. There'll be a couple of crossroads, a couple of roundabouts, I think, where we go straight off. So I'll do that. There'll be clear sign. I won't be indicating either. As it happens to your first ride, Elka, aren't any straight on. Sorry?
It all depends whether we turn left or right at the end.
At the end?
Yeah.
Right turns right. And then we're going into Ditchman Village. You might get the impression that Mary knows this neck, Lewis, which is why I've made a point of her not being first ride. On that matter, I've had a thought actually. Depends how you're feeling, how we're getting on. But since your first ride, your second ride will finish at Norfolk. Now, if you wanted to go straight home from there, because from that point onwards you'll only be following, or if you want to stay with and follow for the next one, because the next one finishes at on the 1067. Quantum Morley, we've got it for a moment.
We'll be stopping though anyway.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll make a decision depending on...
Yeah, getting on.
Boardswell.
Boardswell, that's a fella. Yeah. Well done that man. I'm just thinking, rather than drag you all the way to Wyndham, you then have to go back.
Yeah, that's the point.
Boardswell or North Walsham, whichever one you think. I mean, if you want to sit to follow for from North Walsham to Boardswell and then 1067 by Fakenham and you're on your way, aren't you? So anyway, good. Where do you come from?
Dereham, so me finishing in Boardswell would be awesome. Do you stop at the garden centre there? Is that where you stop?
Yeah. In that case, we'll probably do that. Mary, you are third ride anyway. Perfect. Well, that's worked out handsomely, isn't it?
Yeah. Cool.
Billy, no mate's going back to Wyndham then.
No, you'll have me. Little old me.
That's alright.
Yeah. So, yeah, alright, we'll do that then.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you're wet enough, you're wet enough.
Yeah.
Mary got away with it.
I'm still wet, don't get me wrong, my hands are black.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, any questions before we get going? Doubtless there's going to be something I've forgotten to mention, but... Yeah, good. Right, in that case, we'll get our clobber on. So, like I say, we're in a 40, we're right...
Right, here goes. This is my first observed ride. Let's see what we are doing here. I think we're in a 30, so we'll stick to being in a 30 to start with. No one in front of me, only a policeman behind me. Right, let's get this going up to 30 then. Just me and Popo. Let's go. Oh, nice. Oh, that was too slow. Put that gear well wrong. Wow, concentrating a lot here, just trying to get everything right without causing myself any issues. Getting hit by a billion bugs as well, a billion bugs. Turn round, let's turn right around. Interesting bridge. Good morning. Good morning. Right. Okay, so I don't think it's going too badly, apart from approaching a 30 at about 60 mile an hour because someone's turned the sign round. Not overly helpful, but hey, we're still going. Hopefully we'll still have a driving licence at the end of it. Lots of blinking speed limit changes, very, very fast. Why are you trying to run away? Come on. You do have Popo with you, Michael. Yeah. Ugh. Bring it, mate. Ugh.